All right, so Hank is probably one of the strongest brawlers we've seen in a while. He does a lot of good things, but I also think he does some bad things, and I think there's some bugs that also contribute to why he's so good right now. So today, I want to talk about what Hank does well, what he does bad, and what I think about him as we go throughout the video. So let's get into it.
Oh, I'm a limp shrimp!
All right, so let's start off with Hank's basics. And of course, Hank is a tank, so he's gonna have a lot of HP and be able to do a high amount of damage. Right now, my Hank is level 9. He's got 8,400 HP, and he can do up to 2,800 damage per shot, but that comes with a caveat. And that caveat is that you have to fully charge up your attack to be able to do that full amount of damage. If you shoot it any earlier than a fully charged attack, you're gonna do significantly less damage. And in fact, if you're just spamming like the smallest bubble, you do basically nothing. And that's gonna be my first major complaint about Hank. If somebody's in your face, you can basically do nothing because you can't charge up your full attack, and you're basically just a sitting duck doing no damage to them. But if you are just walking up the map and you have your bubble fully charged, you are just like a huge threat. Everybody has to back away, or they're gonna take 2,800, 3,000 damage right in their face, and there's nothing they can do about it. In my opinion, this is not a fun playstyle for either Hank or the people playing against Hank. For example, for Hank, he doesn't have to aim at all. You basically just charge up this giant area of effect, and as long as you push people back, you're doing your job pretty well. But as far as playing against Hank, there's no way of playing around it. The only thing you can do is back up and get pushed into the corner, and it's just like very oppressive in my opinion. It's not a good design, it's not fun to play into, and I'm not a huge fan of it at all. All right, next up, let's talk about Hank's super, and honestly, I think this is probably one of the worst supers in the entire game, and I also think it's a bit bugged, so let's talk about that really quick. So first off, why I think it's a bad super. It is really hard to hit any singular projectile when you're away from an opponent, so that kind of makes it hard to make sure you're like finishing off a kill or something like that if you poke somebody with one bubble and they're starting to run away. So that makes it like very like unuseful in my opinion. And then on top of that, the only really good situation I found for it is when a tank is on top of you and you can just pop your super and pretty much delete them, but you have to be like almost inside of them. I've been able to do about 7,000 damage to a normal brawler with a normal size hitbox like Primo or like Buster or something like that. Now, the reason why I say it's bugged, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but if you go inside the training cave and you sit inside the bot and you pop the super, you do 9,800 damage. Now mine's level 9 and he should be doing 8,400 damage, not 9,800 damage. So he's doing an extra 1,400 damage, but he should only be shooting 6 projectiles. So none of this makes sense to me. But even if this is actually a bug and it's doing extra damage for whatever reason, after they patch that, Hank's super is still going to be able to do a lot of damage, and it does have some utility when you're 1v1ing another tank, but outside of that, I don't think it's very good. Like I said, it's hard to land any single projectile, so it's not really good at finishing brawlers from a distance like it should be used for. So overall, like I said, I'm just not a fan of the super either. All right, so overall, as far as Hank's basic kit, I just think it's very boring. He's a lot like Jackie, in my opinion, where he has like very basic mechanics where you basically just pull your joystick forward and walk forward, and eventually you're going to either push people back or you're going to do a lot of damage to them. And he basically has no super, kind of like how Jackie's old super used to be. So he's just like Jackie 2.0 in my opinion. Which is actually kind of convenient because Jackie was really strong when she first came out.
Krilling in the name of!
Now next up, let's talk about his gadgets and star powers. I've only bought one of each, and I'll talk about why I bought those specific gadget and star powers as we go through it. But let's kick things off with his gadgets right now. All right, so his first gadget's gonna be water balloons. That's gonna be the gadget that slows people down when you attack them with your next attack. Now, initially, I think I overrated this gadget a little bit because I thought it was gonna fix the problem where he's super slow and just walking up to people and never being able to catch them. Turns out, it doesn't work out that way. So while you will be able to hit people and slow them down, what ends up happening is that it takes so long to charge up your next attack, the slow is already worn off. You might get that extra attack off depending on how close you got when you hit that first attack, but depending on the brawler, you might not end up finishing the kill, and they might end up getting away. So I think overall, I overrated this just a little bit. I still think it's pretty good because slows are always useful, but I don't think it's like the best gadget ever. All right, Hank's second gadget is going to be Barricade. That's going to be the one that gives him a shield for 3 seconds after he activates it. And I think this is a nice gadget to have in your back pocket for whenever you're coming out like from behind a wall or out of a bush or something like that. It just gives Hank more HP effectively as he's moving up the map and pushing people back. You won't get a ton of utility out of it like you would like say like water balloons being able to slow people down, but I do think this is a nice viable option on more open maps if you're going to play Hank there. All right, Hank's first star power is it's gonna blow, and this is the one that gives him a speed boost when he's charging up his main attack, and I think this is a really good star power for Hank still. I don't know if it's his best one, but I think this one's really good because it helps him close the distance on people if he can surprise them or just move up the map a little bit quicker because all you have to do is charge up an attack and you get the speed boost, and if you don't want to shoot it, you can just pull your joystick back and put the bubble away. So I think this is a really nice gadget to have for, or star power. It's a star power. I think this is a really nice star power for Hank to have. All right, Hank's second star power is Take Cover. This is the one that gives him a shield when he's near a wall. I don't like this star power because generally when you're near a wall, you're normally behind it, so you're not taking damage anyway. I guess it can get some utility in like Brawl Ball, like when you're on an opponent's side of the map and you're near their walls, like trying to score a goal or something like that. I guess it can get utility there, but I think most part, it's really not going to be that useful because, like I said, when you're near a wall, you're going to be behind it and you're not going to be able to get shot unless you're like, you know, going against a thrower or something like that. So I think for the most part, this gadget's a little overrated. Plus, it's only a 20% shield right now, so I don't think it's that good. All right, so overall, I think both of Hank's gadgets are very good. I think there's use cases for either or. I do think I prefer the speed one just a little bit more, but I can definitely see uses of the shield one, like I said, on like more open maps or something like that. So I think either gadget is good to pick up. And just to run over the star powers one more time, I think the second star power is basically useless. There are some situations where you can run it, like I said, in like Brawl Ball or something like that. But I think generally the first star power is going to be the more useful one because it just gives you that speed boost and it's easier to get up on a map whenever you have a speed boost in your back pocket. So yeah, I would just generally run the first star power pretty much all the time.
I was prawn ready!
All right, so to wrap this video up, let's go over my final thoughts on Hank. And it's a really weird situation, in my opinion, because on one hand, he's definitely the strongest brawler in the game right now. He's very oppressive, and that can be a very fun way of playing the game sometimes. So I understand people who are enjoying him right now. But on the other hand, like I said earlier, his kit is very simple. There's really no aiming, no mobility, none of that stuff that goes into playing Hank. And in that regard, that's a really boring way to play the game. So for me personally, I think that once I push Hank up to rank 20 and he catches a couple nerfs, which we know is going to come soon because Danny basically said that over on Twitter, I don't think I'm really going to play Hank all that much. To me, simple brawlers like him and Jackie are not really brawlers you want to main. You don't really want to play them all that much. They're really just brawlers that are really good on certain maps, or if you just like want to have a really simple playstyle, you want to turn your brain off but still play Brawl Stars at the same time, you pick up these two brawlers and that's what you play. But for the most part, if you're really trying to engage with your gameplay and you really want to have like a really fun time, you probably want to play a different brawler like Mortis where you can dash all over the map, or like Terra where you can like have entirely game-changing supers. Hank doesn't offer that. So to me, it's not the most engaging playstyle, and I'm just not interested in playing Hank after he gets nerfed, after I'm done pushing him. So to put a nice little bow on it, I think that Hank is a very strong brawler right now, but he's got a very boring playstyle, so I'm just not interested in maining him or anything like that. But let me know what you think about Hank down in the comments. Do you enjoy him? Do you not enjoy him? What do you like about him? What do you dislike about him? All that type of stuff. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you enjoyed my rambling, consider dropping a sub as well if you're not already subbed. Anyway, that's going to do it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.